Hi everyone, I'm Amy Zellmer. Thank you for watching today's YouTube video. Today I'm here with Laura Erdman Luntz. Say hello.
Hello everyone.
Laura has been my life coach, my yoga instructor, my essential oils guru. Am I missing anything? My friend, photography client. We've done a lot together over the past 10 or 12 years, so I'm excited.
Traveled together.
Yes, we've traveled together a couple times. Costa Rica, Mexico. So I'm really excited to have her here today to share with you 5 tips to reduce anxiety. So I'm going to quickly introduce Laura to you guys. Laura Erdman Luntz is an experienced yoga educator, author, inspiring life coach, and business entrepreneur. She has over 20 years experience in the fitness and wellness industries and uniquely blends her life coaching knowledge and vast experience with yoga to create programs, classes, and workshops that truly do bring mind and body together for positive change, inspiring people to live their most authentic life. So thank you for being here, Laura. I'm so happy to share you with my tribe. So today we're talking about 5 ways to reduce anxiety. Anxiety is extremely common with anyone who has had a traumatic brain injury. I know I deal with anxiety since my accident. I deal with PTSD. And the things that we're talking about today have greatly helped me. So I hope that you guys will all give them a chance and try them out. As we go along and see how they help you. So Laura, I'm going to let you kind of jump in and start talking about your 5 ways.
Excellent. Well, I tell you what, just so you all know, as Amy introduced me, I'm a life coach, yoga educator, and I work with essential oils. And I bring all 3 of them into my practice because I've been a life coach and yoga educator both for almost 30 years. And for a very long time, I did them separately. You know, I used to say life coaching and yoga have the same ultimate goal, which is to live from your heart, and yoga goes to your body and life coaching goes to your mind. And then it started to occur to me, wait, we both have a mind and a body, and we could use both together to get to our hearts. And so I like to use yoga to work physically on whatever it is someone is trying to create in their life. I use life coaching to shift the mind. And then I added about 3 to 5 years ago, essential oils, because that begins to shift things on a cellular level. We have messages on our cells, and essential oils can begin to help us recreate those. So it really is a threefer. So when we go through these tips, we are going to be covering all 3 of these things. So what I encourage you to do is pick 1 or 2 that resonate with you to start. You know, don't feel like you need to jump on all 5. Just pick that 1 or 2 that says, wow, I can do that. And when Amy and I were talking about this, we wanted to find the things that you could tap into today, right now. In fact, as she said, do it with us as we're going along and see how it feels for you. So that said, let's step into tip number 1. Tip number 1 is breathing. Now, breathing is an incredibly powerful tool. It's actually a lot more powerful than people realize because our breath actually connects our mind with our body. It is the only automatic thing our body does. You know, automatic things like breathing, brain thinking, heart beating, things you don't have to think about, but you just do it. But it's the only automatic thing our body does that we can change consciously, so we can use our mind. So it connects the mind and body, which is a really powerful tool. So simply stopping and taking 5 conscious breaths can change everything. It actually shifts the nervous system, which controls that stress response. It shifts it to a slower pace. Now, what makes it even more powerful is to direct your mind with it. So as you're inhaling, say, I'm breathing in, just say it to yourself, I'm breathing in. And as you exhale, say, I am calm. I am statements are very powerful for shifting the brain into whatever state you want. You know, it could be, I'm excited. I am powerful, I am whatever, but now we're working on calming ourselves. So saying, I am calm as you exhale. I am breathing in. I am calm. And doing that 5 times can be a dramatic shift for yourself?
I use breathing all the time if I feel, that anxiety creeping in. So anyone who doesn't know my story, I fell on the ice 3 years ago and landed on my head. And so we've had a lot of ice the last couple weeks here in Minnesota. We've had a couple you wake up in the morning, it's sheer ice out. And so I have to kind of mentally prepare myself to go out the door in the morning, and I do my breaths. Just exactly like Laura was saying. And like I said, I've worked with Laura for 10, 12 years, and we came up with an I am statement many years ago, way before my accident. It was, I am safe, and I have a large bubble of safety around me. And so that's another one that I've been implementing a lot, especially when I have to go out on the ice. I am calm, I am safe, and I have a large bubble of safety around me. And it's really powerful. It completely shifts the way you're feeling.
And I will add, we probably need to do a whole nother video on this one, Amy, on I am statements.
Yeah.
I will add, it is totally okay if you don't believe it. Okay, so initially when Amy started using this, she didn't believe she was safe. But we believe a whole lot of bad things we say about ourselves ultimately, right? So this is like you just start putting in the positive, and eventually the mind comes on board. So it's okay when you say, I am calm. No, I'm not. Stop. I'm calm. It's okay to not believe it. Just keep saying it. Keep saying it. Good. All right. Should we go to number 2?
Yeah.
All right. This is another shift for the mind, and that is to begin to develop an attitude of gratitude. I am sure you've heard about this attitude of gratitude. It is such a powerful way to shift into a more positive attitude in general. It is so easy to focus on that challenge in your life. And while I haven't had a brain injury, I certainly have had other challenges in my life. And I know when something is going on, to focus on that and the bad of it, if you will, is really easy. And when we're in that state, anxiety has a stronger foothold in our mind. Littler things can set us off. So shifting into a more positive state by practicing gratitude is really powerful. Now, how would you do that? I definitely recommend sitting down. There's actually a book called The Magic by Rhonda Burns. So if you're not really sure how to practice gratitude, this book is phenomenal. It's a 28-day practice of gratitude, and I've gone through it. I think I'm on my 3rd time around. So whenever I need another hit, I go back to it, and it gives you a different exercise every day. It's really powerful. At least sit down and write down 10 things you're grateful for each and every day. And here's the key: to think about how grateful you are. Not just ... slam the book shut and set it down. You have to think about, why are you grateful for your health? Why are you grateful for the home you live in? Why are you grateful for your job? Why are you grateful for your spouse or your children, or the pen you're writing with, or the notebook you have? It's a really powerful tool, and you will feel the shift throughout the day.
And that's definitely when, whenever I start feeling that anxiety creep in, I start feeling a little depressed, I definitely try to do my gratitude journal, because it just instantly brings you up to see what you're grateful for. And having that attitude of, I'm grateful, like so many of us are lucky to be alive after our accidents, and looking at the positive in it. And, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be able to share my message, instead of, wallowing in that pity of, I'm never going to get better. I feel like crap. I don't like feeling this way. That in itself helps stimulate that anxiety. So if you can stop thinking that way and start thinking about gratitude and positivity, it really helps shrink that anxiety. Laura's getting over a nasty cold. So
I know. And then I swallowed something, so it doesn't help at all. Okay, so now I'll move into the body. So when I talk about using yoga to embody what you want, how we hold our body affects how we feel. So studies have shown that if you slump and let your heart sink, after a period of time, you will begin to feel depressed. Just because of the way you're physically embodying depression. Well, what they've also discovered is when we stand tall, and actually even more so bring those arms up and overhead, we begin to release testosterone, which is the hormone of courage and confidence. So the way we hold our body is a really powerful way to shift how we feel. So there are actually 2 yoga poses. This is going to be tip number 3 and tip number 4 for you. One is holding the body to create confidence. And that is you can be sitting or standing. You can do it anytime, anywhere. Nobody will know you're doing it. Maybe even put a little dot on your hand. So whenever you look at it, it reminds you to stand tall. And what I mean by that is lengthening the spine. If you're sitting, you're probably sitting, so do this with me. Let your heart open. And what I do is I draw my shoulders back and down, kind of squeeze the shoulder blades down and in, and then relax. And you'll notice your heart's a little bit more open. And you lengthen your neck. So you get really long, like you want to ride the roller coaster and you're a little one and you need to be that much taller to get on the roller coaster. You know, remember I used to do that when you were a kid? That's what you want to do. If you're standing up, you stand on your own 2 feet. You get really grounded on your feet. You press down, let your weight sink as you lift. Incredible tool. And now if you're all by yourself and you need a little bit more, you bring those arms up and overhead and you'll feel the shift. And anxiety comes from a place of disempowerment. If you feel empowered, you're not going to feel anxious because you're going to feel like you can handle whatever it is. So creating that stance, whether or not you need it, so this is a proactive action, come into that stance whenever it is that you feel you need it, and feel that power, feel that openness in your heart. It's a really powerful tool. Anything to add on that one, Amy?
Well, you know, going back to what you said about how, you know, being slunched over makes you feel depressed. When I fell, I had dislocated my sternum and twisted my rib cage. So I was constantly twisted and forward. It took me over 1.5 years to get my body back center and then to be able to pull my shoulders back. And I just remember how like depressed and helpless I felt. And it was a horrible, horrible feeling. And I've done yoga for 20 years. So not being able to do yoga because I couldn't even do anything. And finally, I met with Rose, one of our mutual friends, and she came out and helped me find a few yoga poses that I could do. And, you know, this was one of them. Just, you know, I would stand and I would do as best I could to get centered and grounded. And I couldn't lift my hands higher than about here. And then, you know, eventually I was able to get them up and over my head. And it made a profound impact on my recovery when I was finally able to get tall. And what's the word I'm looking for, Laura? Tall and
long and proud. And
grounded.
My mom likes to call it tall and willowy. She's 5'2", so she's not tall and willowy. Excellent. Well, then the other yoga pose is to release some of the tension. So if we are stressed and bound, any little thing can set off anxiety. If we can set the system at a lower level, at a calmer place, then it takes a little bit more to set ourselves off. So a really simple pose that you can do is a twist. And you can just do it sitting. So I'm going to square myself off in my chair. And just to sit really tall, both feet are grounded because that'll help you, especially if you feel dizzy. If there's dizziness, the feet flat on the floor will help. And then just simply twist in your chair. Keep your head aligned with the torso so you're not taking your head around because that can create more dizziness. But now once you're around, what I want you to do is draw the belly in slightly and lift tall. So create that lift again, broaden across the heart, and breathe as you hold. So now we're drawing in the breath. Come back through the center. Already feels better, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And then we'll go the other way. Gently twist again. Keep the head in alignment with the torso. Draw that belly in and lift. Feel both sit bones. So the sit bones are the bones at the base of the pelvis. You want to feel both of them grounded. your feet grounded, and then come back. I know, nice little exhale.
That's so good now.
I know. And you can do that anytime, really, I mean, pretty much anytime. And just give yourself a nice little twist and breathe as you do so. And what it's going to do is set your system at a lower level. Okay. Should we move into essential oils and the power of essential oils? Awesome. So one of the things I love most about essential oils is they are pretty darn easy. So no matter how busy you are, no matter what's going on, you can usually do this. And that can make a difference depending on what you're looking for. That can be all you need, or you can put a drop in your hands and you can inhale. Now, oils do a ton of things. There's so many benefits you can get from the oils. They affect every system of the body. They affect you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. They are powerful. So they're an amazing addition to whatever it is you're doing. And I will say there is a caveat. Purity makes a huge difference. Okay. So you're not going to get the same effect with a drugstore essential oil that we are talking about. Amy and I only use Young Living essential oils, and there's a reason. It is the only company that actually controls every step of the preparation process, which makes a difference. Essential oils are very similar to maple syrup. You know how you have grade B, barely processed, tons of nutrients. Grade A, processed a little more, a little sweeter, tastes a little better, fewer nutrients. And then you have Mrs. Butterworth's.
Yeah.
So yeah, the same with oils. And the cheaper it is, this is Bed Bath & Beyond. This is that you find on the market, which in fact 98% of the oils you find in the market are here. They're cut with synthetics, chemicals, diluted to make them cheaper. And then you've got the really true therapeutic grade that are incredibly powerful and definitely more expensive and definitely worth the buck. I mean, here you're going to use a lot more oils or drops of oil than you need over here. Okay, so that said, if you're interested in learning more, talk to Amy. I'm going to talk to you about some of the oils I recommend. So with the brain injury, the two things we recommended is something that grounds you, so it helps you feel rooted, and that keeps you from that, that anxiety feeling, and then something that calms the system. So if you think of the grounding as Tadasa, right, that sitting and that lengthening, that I didn't mention it was the name of the pose was Tadasa, but that sitting tall or standing tall is actually a pose that's called Tadasa. That's really grounding, and it helps you feel like you can handle more. And then the other two oils I'm going to share are for the calming aspect, which is like the twist. Okay, just takes you to a lower level. So the two grounding ones I wanted to share is one is literally grounding. So it's called grounding. It's a blend of oils that helps bring the energy down. And the other one is vetiver. This is one I happen to know Amy loves.
I love that one.
I joke that it's earth in a bottle. It's even thick. Like it's hard to get out. It's very
really thick.
It's one of your sleep oils. You love this one to help you sleep. Yum. And then the two oils I wanted to share, one is one you can find in a lot of places, lavender. But again, be careful. You're not going to get the same effect. I mean, not only does it not have all the therapeutic aspects if it's, grade A or here, it's also going to have chemicals and synthetics which could affect you. So be very, very careful what you use. But I love lavender. It's very calming.
I put lavender in my bath.
Oh, I bet that's really nice. I put Stress Away. And then Stress Away is another blend that I do recommend. It's not one I have in my hands, but yes, it's my favorite bath oil. And then Peace and Calming. And this one is a blend that is unique to Young Living. This one is an amazing blend of a variety of oils that is, it creates peace and calming, hence the name. It's really, really lovely. It's one of Young Living's specialty ones. All right, did you want to add anything with oils? Did I get that covered?
I was going to just share, I have a bracelet. It's actually from Love Your Brain, but it's lava rock. And so it will absorb the essential oils. So I can put a drop right on my bracelet. And then it's always kind of there throughout the day. I like to put lavender on it. That's a really good one for me to help reduce my anxiety.
And then you can just, when you need a hit,
Yeah. And then it's always like, it's right there on your skin too.
Yep. Yep. And diffusers, I don't know if you can see mine here. Diffusers are also a great way to get it into the air. It's a nice way for sleeping.
I sleep with mine every night.
Yeah, mine's running just all the time. I always diffuse with a purpose. There's something that I'm working on creating.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. Okay, shall we do our bonus?
Sure.
So we have a bonus tip, and this is something Amy and I both work on for sure. Amy's probably a little better at it than I am. She's controlled. I'm working on it. That is self-care. Okay, taking care of yourself is huge. Okay, think of it as, the empty cup syndrome. It's a great analogy, though. As your cup empties out and you're running on empty, everything will seem bigger than it is. You're definitely going to step into anxiety much more easily. It's like, keep in mind that any one thing that comes at you can affect you or not. Okay, now, of course, there are bigger things and little things, but I'm sure you've experienced that time that you flew off the handle or you felt really anxious and you're thinking, why am I feeling anxious? This happened yesterday and it didn't bother me at all. We definitely react differently at different times. It almost always comes back to, I'm just going to say, it always comes back to that darn cup. If that cup is empty, you're going to react. If it's full, you're going to react less. It's going to affect you less. Mm-hmm. And it's that whole oxygen mask thing, right? You put the oxygen mask on yourself before you do anybody else so that you can stay filled up.
And it's funny because that exact analogy has come up with my last 3 coaching clients. They said that they finally realized they have to put their oxygen mask on first before helping their family or their friends or their children. And it's so true. Like if, with brain injury, the spoon theory is what a lot of people are familiar with. You have this many spoons when you wake up in the morning, and everything you do, you have to give a spoon away to do it. And then when you're out of spoons, you're done for the day. And so by doing some of these things Laura has talked about, we can bring a spoon back. We can give ourselves another spoon by filling ourselves up and just calming our anxiety and calming the nervous system. And so self-care is just so important. And that's everything that we just talked about is all self-care. And, the breathing, having the attitude of gratitude, doing a few simple grounding and relaxing yoga poses, using essential oils, like Laura said in the beginning, pick 1 or 2 things. Like with brain injury, if there's more than 2 steps involved, we get overwhelmed. So pick 1 or 2 things that you want to try doing every day. And just, write your Post-it note and put it out where you're going to see it to remind yourself to do it. And just try it and see how it helps. I liked her idea of putting a dot, like use a little Sharpie, draw a little dot. And every time you see it, that reminds you to either take a breath or sit up tall, do one of the things that we talked about. I really like that idea, putting a dot on your hand. Yep.
A little heart. Yep. My self-love.
So
that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Laura. Do you have any final thoughts?
I think the biggest thing is remembering that all of these things can change your reactions. And that is huge. That's huge for all of us, brain injury or no. Mm-hmm. It's just to realize that you can change how you react is probably the most powerful thing, putting you in charge, you in control, or more in control, to feel more in control. Mm-hmm. And that's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah. When you start spinning out of control, that's when the anxiety kicks in. So everything you can do to bring that control back to yourself is powerful. I know, like I said, I work on that every day, especially when it's icy or slippery out. I really have to work extra hard on it. So,
yep.
Well, thank you, Laura, for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, everyone. It was really lovely to share with all of you.
And thank you all for watching. I hope that that you really do try to practice 1 or 2 of these things every day, and see. Let us know. Let us know how it reduces your anxiety. We'd love to hear about it. Put it in the comments below. So thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.